Good evening. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your financial market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening as we're here now on Tuesday, and this is mid-month, the 15th of the month of July. Wow. And we're getting on into the about 6:20 p.m. area. All right. A down day across the board in the stocks. Now, the market didn't start that way. The market started off in a much better pattern. By the way, I hope you like my shirt with all the neat signs. I think it's fun. It started off different. I was nowhere around today. I had a personal thing that I had to do, and it took me 5 hours today, so I got that done, but I wasn't really on top of the markets. And when I came back, the one market I expected to see trouble with was the Dow. That was the one I didn't trust. And yesterday, if you're a subscriber of mine, when the market was at 44,600 and something, I said, don't want to own this anymore. I want you to get out. The market that I did like was the NASDAQ, but it's just given back 59 points. So I'll have to look at it and tell traders what I think. That'll be tonight. It'll be an interesting newsletter. The metals all came down a bit, as you can see. The dollar took off, and the dollar's at a point where maybe now, instead of me having to say we're going to a fifth price count, 88 to 90, this is your first impressive hold in the market. And that's going to put pressure on a number of the currencies if it does, in fact, hold. In the energy markets, it's more or less today, as I saw it at least, where the markets have been under some selling pressure. I realized that you got more reports today from OPEC. I was reading what they do, and they're coming out still against the IEA and think they're wrong. I think the IEA has got more of a hand on the market than they do right now. Bonds and notes, they're sort of stuck, really not going anywhere. But we have a lot of news that we have to deal with. All right, so let's start. Your mortgage bankers' numbers are going to come out in the morning at 6. Now, this is a big season time. A lot of people doing mortgages. If you want a home, the kids got to get set up for school. This is when you're making your moves. Richmond Fed President Barkin's going to address the Carroll County Chamber of Commerce at 7. We'll see if any mention is there about tariffs, inflation, what's going on. U.S. June producer price indexes, they'll come out at 7:30. They're looking for a 0.2 of an increase in both the core and the headline number. Again, increases. And that's the important thing. They're not galloping. They're not saying they're 10%. But is inflation now starting to show its ugly head? And I think it is in a very minor way, but it's here now, and it's knocking on the door. The Federal Reserve is going to release their monthly industrial production and capacity utilization, and that'll be 8:15. Cleveland President Hammack will be speaking at about 8:15. Fed Governor Barr is going to speak at 9. So we have the Fed boys out. Now the tariffs are known, and there's more to this. Federal Reserve, the beige book is going to come out. Everybody will want to read that. And then you had this take place, which happened late. Indonesia, which was hit with one of those letters for, I think it was 32% tariffs, got in, negotiated, and has done a great deal for themselves. They have negotiated a deal at 19% tariff. They have agreed with the U.S. that they're going to purchase $15 billion in U.S. energy. They're going to purchase $4.5 billion of U.S. agriculture and 50 Boeing jets. They got their deal done. They're the first to come in after that stream of letters went out, and they've gotten away with that. So that door opens for all these other 30% people. They can get down under 20s. I think people would be thrilled to do that. Obviously, will they? Can they? Indonesia's country, a different size than maybe some of our bigger trading partners. But this is a win, a big one for Trump, and don't you forget it, because everybody said these things couldn't be done, and right in front of you, they are getting done. And there is no magic about August 1st when the tariff set in. Who says that a country at August 2nd can't make a plea with the president and change things as they go, we can't keep it this way. We've got to crack and do some more. That's the way you do it. But remember, how much you'll get depends on the man's, being Trump's, psyche at that moment, because everything I see, everything, it's him. It's not anybody else. These are all the other little like Wall Street guys that he had, the elves. They give ideas, but it's up to Louis Reichheiser at that time, and that's what you've got. So when we take a look at the S&P for the week, you're down 0.5%. Market is giving a bit of a correction. You can see how the market is spinning back here. Got up, came for the high, and by day's end, the market did sink back. It didn't do any real damage yet on the chart. Should the market come in through this last low here, that's where the problem can happen in the chart. So if this market gets underneath, and let's see if I can get you right to that price and give it to you. There we come. Here we go. One more. That's it. So if you get under 62.58 and a quarter, you break a pattern in the chart, and this thrust part comes to an end. That's if it happens. Doesn't mean it has to, but it's something I'll be watching. That would probably lead you to get back down to the 18-day average and have to figure out where does the market regroup from there. And it would take the market out of this beautiful long run that it has had. When we take a look at the momentum, what did the momentum do in the S&P? Talk to me, baby. What did the momentum do? Let's go to the close of business today, which is the 15th. What did the momentum do? It kept its embedded reading. What's it doing tonight? It's losing the reading. I'm not going to share any further with you because my course teaches you what you do with that. And if you're too lazy to learn, that's up to you, not me. My subscribers that watch this, they know what I'm talking about. As you look at the NASDAQ, same thing. Now look at how you're starting the fight. Are you going to lose the embedded reading? So let's go back and see where you're at. Here is the market. Both numbers still embedded. And here is the market on an intraday move. Now you're under the 79 level. What do you do with that? I'll cover that later. I'd rather do it tomorrow than tonight because many of my clients have open positions in that and they don't get their news here. They get it in the subscriber video. As for the Dow, fell right back to the 18-day average. Completely has to regroup. Completely out of that thrust play that we had. It is over. Done. It'll come back another time, another way, but it's not here now. And the Russells joined that party too. All the way down, lost the big embedded reading. You're coming back. Now the market's got to figure out what next. So you're back into a rebuild. Rebuilds don't go from a day like today that you're suddenly real bullish again. If you think so, great. It's not the way it really works. It's easy to go bearish right now. You've just given up the bullishness. You could push the market the other way. The DAX, back under so quickly. The 18-day average, momentum down out of its uptrend like that. We had talked. I thought it would go to with you here to the upper Bollinger Band, but I said, you're there, you hit it, and if you lose that reading, which you did, watch out. And you did lose the reading. And I always crack up when people think they understand how to work with that slow stochastic. You do if you modify the formula, I think, the way I do it. If not, you're behind the 8 ball. And I do give that to my paid subscribers. All they do is ask, and I send it to them. It's very simple. So away you go. But then you practice with it. This is, to me, one of the edges you get in the marketplace. In the bond market, lower highs, lower lows. What does that mean to you? Does that mean falling interest rates? No, my friends. That means rising interest rates. Now the question is, can it break out of here, or does it, because it's already oversold, give you a spin and get a piece of news, take out the highs of today, Tuesday, and all of a sudden you're back in no man's land? When you take a look at the 5-year note, no trend here. Here you got a higher high and low, and you're oversold. In the dollar index, we were just talking about this. Let's go back to yesterday. I said you're overbought. The rally began when you lost your bearish embedded reading. You went to the 18-day average, and from there is where the markets decide what do they want to do one way or the other. If it keeps going, well, it could kick up to the upper Bollinger Band. Why not? You tell me, why not? And you stopped right on the dime at it. Are you out of the downtrend? Oh, yeah. Is talking that we're going to go back under 90 now possibly out of the game? Yeah, it is. Is it over yet? No. I have to do more work on the weekly chart, and then I'll give you my answer on that. I'm not there yet. I was out all day. I don't think I've been home 30 minutes, so I'm catching up with you. In the euro, lower highs, lower lows, and you could see oversold. So the euro came down, the dollar went up, a number of currencies breaking as the dollar's gaining this strength back. Why? Well, higher interest rates in the dollar first. What else? If Trump's making these deals, they're benefiting the U.S. We've already pulled in $100 billion. We'll get $300 billion in tariffs or more. That's a low number, by the way, at 10%. And can he get deals done? He's getting them done. So the fools that think this can't be done and rework the world order, they're wrong. It's that simple. History, I think, will prove that what he's doing is very, very right. You may not like the man. You may not like the way he negotiates and all that, but he is upending the world and doing it single-handedly, and I mean single-handedly, fighting the courts, fighting his own party, and getting things done. And you have to be amazed, and I predicted. I said, when he gets back in office, if you think he's going to sit there and wait, I said he's going to look at the first 6 months. We're there. And you look at how much he's going to accomplish in short order, because he really realizes that by the time the midterms run around, he won't have this ability he has right now. So what did he do? He planned for 4 years, he executed, and this is what he's getting. When you take a look at Bitcoin, yeah, pulling back. You don't stay over upper Bollinger Bands. I told you that, but I don't see anything to hurt it. Now, I've done new price counts on this chart. And originally I was 150,000. No, I'm going to hang in there that I think you'll go to the 133,000 this year. So that's where I think it's headed. The question is how to get long. Right now, you lost the bullish embedded reading. It's easier for this market to break than rally, but you go yahoo because you want to come in on that break. Then we look at the energies. Well, they're just hanging. That's pretty hard to do anything with. You have momentum up, the market just hanging at these numbers. It's easy for it to fall back. It's a big question what goes on. The market was scared, very scared, that 500% tariff on countries that bought Russian oil could have been one of the things that came up at yesterday's meeting with the president and the head of NATO. They didn't do that. I really don't get the 50 days the president gave. I realize we're going to have to get the more of the Patriot missile systems and all into Ukraine, and whoever gives them out of Russia is giving it up on their own, but those people aren't at war with Ukraine. Here's what it does. The American defense systems going through the roof. We should probably take a look at some of these shares, because the amount of money now going to come from them from NATO countries. The president said, we're not buying them. We'll sell the systems. Pretty good business to be in. Same thing I'm seeing with the WTI crude. Yep. Same thing. I don't see trends I like in this market. I see noise for the moment. It'll straighten itself out. Gasoline is full of noise. It gave us the cheap price for the holiday, but now it doesn't want to act that way. We'll see. The market is approaching overbought territory. Can't really afford to break under these lows, but if it got over these highs, a whole new world develops where you can go up to the upper Bollinger Band if that occurred. And in nat gas, got what I wanted. I was hoping we were going to run to the 18-day average. If you were watching with my morning video this morning, I even was talking. I said, I think it can get there, and it did. It's like now the game starts again. So if you've been out of the markets and you're looking ahead and you're saying to yourself, hey, I'd like to get started as they're right at the point where new things are going to begin. You're there. Join us in our research. You can't miss it. Look at all the icons that you have here. Join in. All you need is one good idea. None of this is expensive, and it supports me doing all this for you. I'm Ira. You have yourself a great evening. Hope you watch the other videos, and I'll catch up with you in the morning.